everybody, it's JT Sports Match you guys with another video. This video I'm here with my Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos NFL Week 7 preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this game between the Chiefs and the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. And before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. So the Kansas City Chiefs are coming into this game on the road at Denver on a 2-game losing streak. They have just recently came off a very disappointing loss to the Houston Texans, and the big reason why they lost that game was because the defense did not play well. They were not able to get pressure on Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson didn't get sacked at all, which is very surprising considering the fact that the Houston Texans offensive line has not been that good. And Kansas City's defense just has not been good the last couple of weeks. So if you're Kansas City going into this game, this is a very big game because now, I mean, you took a couple of losses. Oakland is looking to be very competitive right now, and Denver is on a 2-game winning streak right now. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you really cannot afford to lose this game, because you lose this game, you allow every team in the division, even the Chargers who are 2-4 right now, you allow every team in this division to get back into it and give every team in the division a chance to win the division. So if you're Kansas City, this is really a must-win game for Kansas City. And this is pretty much a must-win game for the Denver Broncos in terms of what they plan to do going forward with the future of their team. For the Denver Broncos, I've been seeing a couple of reports about Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco hasn't really played exceptionally well. He's completed 61.9% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and the couple of rooms I've been reading about so far the last couple of weeks is that potentially if the Denver Broncos are not in playoff contention and Drew Lock somehow got placed on IR, so Drew Lock comes back from IR and Denver is not in playoff contention, then Drew Lock could end up starting over Joe Flacco, which really isn't a surprise to me because I predicted this all along before the season started. If Denver wasn't in that playoff chase, then Joe Flacco will potentially end up getting a bench in favor of Drew Lock. So this is a must-win game for really in Joe Flacco's case. He's going to have to come out. He's going to have to win this game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know it's a team sport, but this is a very big game for Joe Flacco, and it's a very favorable matchup for Joe Flacco because Kansas City Chiefs, their defense really isn't that good. The secondary is a little bit of a question as well. So if you're Joe Flacco, you're looking at this game as a chance to really be able to prove yourself and go off, because this Kansas City Chiefs defense has not really been that good. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you really need to lose. You really need to win this game because you really don't want to go on a 3-game losing streak when they already have lost their last 2 matchups. So Kansas City really needs to be able to win this game. And a big flaw with Kansas City when it comes to their pass rush is, I mean, look, last year, Kansas City, their defense wasn't really good, but one thing that the defense was really good at last year was getting after the quarterback. They were like top 10 in the NFL in sacks. And then you let guys like Justin Houston and D Ford go away, and you bring in Frank Clark. You don't really bring in any good pass rushers other than Frank Clark. So, I mean, the pass rush has not really been there for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, they're one of the worst teams when it comes to getting after the quarterback. I mean, they're 25th in the NFL in sacks per game. They're only averaging about 1.8 sacks per game, and they have one of the lowest sack percentages in the NFL. So if you're Kansas City going into this matchup, you're going to have to be able to get pressure on Joe Flacco. And this defense, whoever's calling the plays on the defense side of the ball, they're going to have to dial up a lot of blitzes and try to get pressure because Kansas City's front four obviously isn't getting there. So you're going to have to send a couple of extra guys on some blitzes to get pressure on the quarterback, because you're not going to win a lot of football games, because Kansas City did this last year when their offense wins games, but when their defense has to go on the field and get a last-minute stop, the defense can't do that, and that's not going to fly this year, especially when a lot of people are counting on Kansas City to beat the Patriots, and you're not going to beat the Patriots with the way that the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been playing so far this season. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to have to tighten that defense up. So that defensive coordinator, he might have to send a couple of extra guys to try to get pressure on Joe Flacco. So looking at my keys to victory, what each of these teams is doing there to have a chance to win this game, the Kansas City Chiefs have to get pressure on Joe Flacco. I already said that earlier in this video. I spent a couple of minutes. They're 25th in the NFL in sacks per game. They're only averaging 1.8 sacks per game. That's definitely going to have to be able to improve if Kansas City wants to be able to win this game, and they want to end up going to the Super Bowl. They're going to have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Look, your secondary can stink all it wants to, but the way that you help out a not so good secondary is by getting pressure on the quarterback and not allowing your cornerbacks to have to be in coverage for a very long time. That's what Pittsburgh is doing. That's what Pittsburgh did versus the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday night. Their secondary hasn't played that good this season. So you know what Pittsburgh was able to do? They were able to get pressure on Phillip Rivers. They were able to force Phillip Rivers to get the ball out quicker. And since the pass rush was getting there so fast, the cornerbacks didn't really have to cover that long. So that's how you help out the secondary that's struggling. You get pressure on the quarterback and you force the quarterback to get the ball out faster, and you don't have to rely on your cornerbacks to cover these wide receivers for so long. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to have to find a way to get pressure on Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco necessarily hasn't been playing like a world beater so far this season. So you're going to have to be able to get pressure on Joe Flacco. Next thing Kansas City needs to be able to do is they're going to have to be able to stop the run. Not only are they not good stopping the pass, but they're also allowing 161 rushing yards per game, which is 30th in the NFL. So this Kansas City Chiefs defense has really picked up where it left off last year, still not being very good. And a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans were saying in this offseason that they made a switch and things like that. They changed their whole defensive alignment and things like that. So, I mean, I really don't see any improvement. I really see a Kansas City Chiefs team that was picking off where they left off last year, but absolutely worse because they can't get after the quarterback. And this was a Kansas City Chiefs team that was top 10 in the NFL when it came to getting after the quarterback. So, I mean, this is a Kansas City Chiefs defense that looks to have taken a step back and where they were defensively, and they weren't even good defensively last year. So, they're going to have to be able to find a way to stop the run game. Now, Phillip Lindsay has really been turned it on the last couple of weeks, so they're going to have to be able to stop Phillip Lindsay. You also got to worry about Royce Freeman as well, who has been putting up a couple of really solid performances as well. And Kansas City, not only are they allowing 161 rushing yards per game, which is 30th in the NFL, but they're allowing 5.2 rushing yards per carry, and that's not how you win football games. I mean, the halfbacks are literally getting 5 yards every time they touch the football, and then that's not how you win football games if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. So the defense has to play a lot better. They have to stop the run, and they have to get pressure on Joe Flacco. And like I said, really all they need to do is they need to focus on the defense. I'm not really concerned about the offense. I know Denver has a good defense and everything, but at the end of the day, Kansas City Chiefs offense is at least my concerns. What's my biggest concern to Kansas City Chiefs in this game is their defense. Their defense has to play a lot better because listen, you're not going to win no Super Bowl with the way this defense has been playing. They can't get after the quarterback. The secondary has not been good in coverage, and also they can't stop the run. And also they're allowing teams to rush for 5.2 yards every time they run the football, and they're 30th in rushing yards per game, allowing 161 yards per game. And that's not how you run football games. Kansas City has to be able to tighten up on the defense side of the ball. They're going to have to send extra guys. They're going to have to stack the box. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something because they're not going to win a lot of games with the way this defense has been playing. And Joe Flacco does have a very big arm. This Denver Broncos offense, it might not be impressive and things like that. But listen, a bad defense can make an average offense look like a great offense. So if you're Kansas City, this defense is going to have to show up to play this game. Now, what the Denver Broncos need to be able to do to win this game, Joe Flacco has to come out. He has to have a good game because this is a Kansas City Chiefs defense that isn't really good. So there's no excuse for why Joe Flacco should have a bad or average game. Joe Flacco needs to come in this game. He's going to have to carry this Denver Broncos offense to keep up with this Kansas City Chiefs offense because, look, it doesn't matter how good the Denver Broncos defense is. The Denver Broncos have a top 10 defense, but at the end of the day, the defense for the Denver Broncos is going to keep Kansas City from scoring at least 20 points. I mean, look, this is a Kansas City Chiefs defense that has put up 30 on some of the best defenses in the NFL this year. It has made some of the best secondaries in the NFL look like absolute jokes. So if you're the Denver Broncos, Joe Flacco is going to have to keep this offense in the game by leading this offense on a couple of scoring drives to keep up with this Kansas City Chiefs offense, because it doesn't matter how good your defense is, you're still going to have to be able to score points on the offensive side of the ball if you want to win the game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So, the next thing that the Denver Broncos need to be able to do is they need to run the ball. Now, Denver is averaging 5.3 rushing yards per attempt, and the Kansas City Chiefs are allowing 5.2 rushing yards per attempt. So, what does that mean? Denver run the freaking football, control time possession, and keep Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs offense off the field and tire up that defense. And I know Kansas City's offense can score whenever, whichever play, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you run the football, you're going to limit the amount of possessions that Kansas City Chiefs get on the offensive side of the ball. You're going to limit the amount of plays they get. And you're going to give your defense a lot of rest, which is something that you really need because the way that this Kansas City Chiefs offense is set up, they want to spread you out wide and things like that. So that's what the Denver Broncos need to be able to do, run the football. I mean, Kansas City has one of the worst run defenses in the NFL on top of having a very bad pass defense. So, I mean, Denver needs to be able to run the football. And I think that is the strength of their football team. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. Although they are on a little bit of a losing streak, I just don't think Denver's offense is going to be able to put up enough points and able to win this game. So I'm going to choose Kansas City to win this game. I think Kansas City wins this game 27-17 is my final score prediction. I just don't think Denver's going to be able to score enough points to keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs offensively. So that's my final score prediction for this game. Let me know who you guys think ends up winning this game down in the comment section down below. Also make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.